Please welcome Tamzin Outhwaite.
Hello, lovely.
So how was it?
Kids,
I thought you were going to say, how old are you?
She's been weird all
Why
day.
was it my age that much in the last 9 months?
How old are your kids?
7 and 3.
Oh, you look just fabulous.
Oh,
Honestly.
So how was it having 9 months off?
So, yes, I went...
Because you didn't
I was
quite make
supposed
the
to
year.
do a year, and I got to 9 months, and then I got offered this lovely job, which was too difficult to turn down, an 8-born play at the Haymarket, and so I have the other half loved. So I lasted 9 months.
That's good going.
Which I thought was quite good for me.
Oh, look,
And
there you
it
go.
sounds so good. This, but I haven't actually seen it. I
Well,
will be coming to see you in
will
it.
be coming.
Because I've seen you a
Great.
couple of times in theatre. You are amazing.
Aw.
And it's such a good... I love anything where there's a bit of relationship stuff going
It's
down.
basically... It's a comedy. It's a hilarious comedy. But it's about marital manners. So you have 3 couples in very different marriages.
Yeah.
3 very different couples. And it's all set in one living room. So when you're watching in the theatre, it's just one space and it's one living room. That's what you think. But it's actually the location of 2 separate couples' houses. So
Right.
you're seeing the action happen at the same time in 2 separate houses.
And what's your character like, and what's her
Teresa
situation?
Phillips. My character is married to Bob, who is played by Jason Merrills, and our relationship is very fiery and feisty. And you can tell that they have been desperately in love at some point, but they've had a baby and they've taken their eye off the ball and their relationship's gone downhill.
Yeah.
And they are either really nagging or digging at each other, or rowing ferociously.
Wow, love it.
Or
Love the
having
sound.
sex.
Oh!
So it's very fiery. It's very physical.
But
You don't see
Very
that.
physical. Sex can be.
You obviously don't see that.
When I was younger, anyway.
I thought he's having an affair with one of the other characters
Yeah,
in
my
the
husband's... Well, Jason Merrill's character, Bob, is having an affair with Jenny Seagrove's character.
play. Okay.
I don't want to give too much away.
Oh, no, but it sounds really juicy.
But I think it's one of 8born's best. He's written 80 plays now. And
Right.
he gave me my first ever professional play 20 years ago,
Okay.
which was Absent Friends. So I haven't done an 8born
do you
since, so
think
I
it's-
thought I've got to do this.
Do you think it's something that people will go and be able to relate to certain
everyone
married
can
couple,
relate to somebody
within
Yes.
the show? I love
And
stuff
so
like
Jason's character plays into what we've just been talking about with Edward Fox,
Yes.
right? Which is the whole,
Exactly.
men
it's
are...
about infidelity, the play. So it's how different people deal with that. And
How do you deal with that?
my character... Well, I don't want to give the end away, but my character is quite forgiving, really, but it's for the right reasons because you can see how in love they are.
Yeah.
And they have a child, a young child, so that comes into play. I think the other couple, Nicola Prevost and Jenny Seagrove, who are hilarious together, everything with them is very... they don't express much, so it's all very held, and the way they deal with it is very different to us.
Did you find it hard, Tamzin? I have to ask you, because obviously you've been in that situation. Was there not a bit of you that thought that's going to hurt too much, or did you think it's actually quite cathartic to go out and take it on?
I think it's quite cathartic, yes, and also because it does get dark at times, but it's a comedy.
Yeah.
So there's something about laughing in dark situations that is very healing.
Do you know you have to?
Yes.
Don't you? You know, you're speaking to the right bunch of women
Without
here.
doubt.
Yeah,
I can find the humour in most things.
Yeah.
So you're 9 months off. I'm fascinated by this
Yeah.
because lots of women watching go, oh, God, how lovely, how lovely. No government has ever harnessed this thing, has it, that when women have babies, we want to spend time with those babies and have a bit of flexibility in the workplace. And no one's ever really got to grips with that with a policy because they're always sort of saying, why aren't there more women on boards? It's like, well, maybe it's because they don't want to be there because the hours don't fit in with motherhood.
Yeah, I mean,
Was it everything you dreamed of, or was it like coming back to work?
Well, going back to work's a bit of a rest sometimes. You know, I absolutely adore my job, so it felt like there was something missing, and it took me a long time to relax. Because I've always got to have a project or something. But what I did do is I transferred my projects to things around the house. You know?
You had this bucket list, which sounded like work. You had to learn a language, ride a horse...
Oh, obviously I didn't do any of that.
Oh, we did do it?
No, I did. Because I learned very basic Italian.
Yeah.
I learned a couple of tunes on the guitar.
Yeah.
I tried to learn the piano. That didn't work very well, but my daughter's doing that, so I'm living vicariously through her.
Yeah.
We went on lots of trips, and that, for me, was the thing I missed, because when you work our hours, I missed all of their holidays. Like, I was never available to go on holiday with them. So I had every time they broke up from school, I took them somewhere.
Oh, lovely.
And so that really was priceless
Yeah.
for me.
Well, it interests me because here I just had some notes from you chatting backstage saying that you would go back to EastEnders if they asked you. You wouldn't see your kids at all then. Would you go back?
No, I've never been asked. And I'm not sure how Mel would ever go back because there's no family there.
Yeah.
So I've never been faced with the decision. But what I mean is I don't see it as like a failure going back.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Loads of my favourite actors go in and out of that show, and they're brilliant.
I can't believe you've never been asked back because you were very popular and you've been so successful ever
part
since.
of me that also, I don't know if I've ever been available long enough.
That sounds good. There's out-of-work actresses watching the telly now throwing things at you.
What I mean is, you know, you have to give up a chunk, don't you?
Yeah, yeah.
And I suppose that scares me, the idea of committing for a long period.
Yeah, yeah. Be like a little
with
flash
kids,
in and
it's
out.
different now.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be very easy up the age.
And have you had a chat with the girls about you going back to work and...
Yeah, they got very used to me being around. But what's really lovely is I started rehearsals, and when I wasn't around in the day, and when I'd come home, the reaction now is you can hear them as I knock on the door and hear, Mama, Mama's back.
Sometimes it's nice to let them miss you just a little bit.
So.
Just a little bit. Now, How the Other Half Loves, so the Theatre Royal Haymarket between the 23rd of March to the 25th of June. It's Tamzin Outhwaite, everyone.
Thank you.
We get some pretty fabulous guests here on Loose Women. There's plenty more where that came from. Just click here to watch more interviews with a whole range of famous faces. And click here to subscribe. It's free, so you'd be silly not to, really.
Yeah, and I went to a farmer's and I think he proper done me over. Because it ended up, it's now a huge pot-belly pig. It's living on the farm.
It's about 25 stone.
It's been eating ducks and everything like that. It's been a nightmare.
What did you think?